Okay, welcome back to IT channel. Today we'll be learning how to design interior ceilings. We'll be learning how to design interior ceiling. So in case you design the building and you want to design an interior ceiling, you want to show an interior and you want to know how to design your ceiling, today we'll be learning that. So today we'll be using a simple square plan to practice. As we go further, we'll use more complex forms to practice. So we start with the simple form. So remember, you click on wall, you press this, you click on this default settings to bring out this settings dialog to bring out more settings option, or you press Ctrl T. So you do that, or you press Ctrl T. Then from here we choose we set our walls. So our wall thickness is 225. Then the rest are okay. So you click on that. So we're going to be drawing a simple square building, but for aesthetics, I think we'll give it some contours so that it's not all square. So we'll just go like this. So we'll just go like this, and we'll see if we can replicate something. So just to pass the idea or two. Sorry, I need to adjust this wall. It's not straight. If you have a situation like this, what you do is you click on the wall, you hold shift, you click on the next one, and then you use this to join the two edges. Now we have our building. You can see the building we have. We have our building. So what we'll do now is to add roof to the building. So we'll complete that ceiling loop. Remember, if you have a complex form, you use complex roofing method to allow you to pick the points that you need. So we do this. Then remember, always set your roof, always set what you want. So we've been taught roof design in our previous videos. So if you're having issues with that, you can refer to our previous videos on how to design roof. So this will just be like a quick refresher or a refresher course on what we've done. So remember to open this, set your eaves or offset. I use 600 for my offsets and others. So we'll draw the roof. Remember, we are designing ceiling, an interior ceiling, but this is just to give it that aesthetic. This is just to give it aesthetics. Now you may be wondering, what are we going to use to draw the roof? We are going to use slab, but for the meantime, look at the building. You can see the building. So now we want to draw a ceiling inside. There is no, if we should clip through the wall, you will see that there is no ceiling. It's just an empty shell. So let's give it some light. Let's give it some light. So first of all, we are going to use slab. Slab is a very powerful tool in ArchiCAD. It can be used for several things and several applications, and one of them is the creation of ceiling. You can also use slab for your landscape. You can also use slab for many other things. But for now, we use it as ceiling. So we'll be drawing this and this and this and this. We just have to make sure. That it goes round. Okay, so we've done this. Now you may be wondering, how are we going to work with the ceiling? Because as you can see, it's going to be very hard to adjust the height of the slab here to what we want. and it's going to be very hard to adjust it from elevation. So we're going to be doing that through section. Now, if you want to cut section, you have to go to the document tool. So this is the section tool, and this is elevation tool. Ideally, if you draw this elevation tool through this building, it will cut a section. But for convenience and for order, let us just use this section tool. So we're going to cut a section because it's going to enable us work with our ceiling well. Because without this section tool, it's going to be hard to actually manipulate what we have in there. So we've got this section. Now we're going to click on this line and we'll right click. Then we're going to click on open with current settings. Yes, so we have to give it, this is our section and this is the slab. This is the slab. So now we're going to draw two slabs, but for now, let us just work on the ceiling. So now we're going to give this slab a thickness. Let us say 25 mm. I feel that is ideal for the thickness of the slab. 25. Then we're going to give it a color. So we're going to give under. You can see this one is on top of the slab, by the edges of the slab and under the slab. So we want it to be under because that's what we look at. And POP has a let's say this silky texture, so that's what I want to replicate. So what I use is white, either white fine or white rough. But I like using white rough because when you render it, and I'm going to show you how to render, it gives you this let's say nice aesthetics. So that's what we're going to use now. White rough, and click OK. You see it has taken effect. So now, ceilings usually have offset of 300 mm. Like the ceiling noggins extends 300 mm downwards. It can be 4, it can be 6, but normally the minimum is 300. So we do 300. So we're going to carry this up to that 300 mm line. So, okay, let me show you guys how I got the line. So for you to get this ruler, you have to go to View and click on Ruler. See, if I disable it, the line has gone, the ruler has gone. So if I go to View, and I click on Ruler to bring it out. So to use it, what you do is, let me remove all guidelines. What you do is you carry it to drop where you want. Then if I want to measure 300 from here, I'll click on that line and I'll drag it. See, it start counting. So once you click on it, it's counting now. You can just type 300 and hit enter. Slide down 300 mm. Now we are going to have to shift this our slab / ceiling up to where it's supposed to be. So what we are going to do is we are going to press Ctrl D. That is to drag. Na keypad, Ctrl D. Now we can drag, but you can also drag. There's another way to drag the keypad. You double click. So if I click the first time, if I click on it the first time, I click on it again. You see, I can drag, but Ctrl D is what is easier. Because most times your mouse can misbehave and you can do what you never intended to do. So 300, so we have to keep it above the line. No, 300 is okay. 300. So now let us look at it and see what we have now. You can see we have a ceiling inside. We have a ceiling. It's now covered, but it is still plain. So we're going to have to work on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this. We're going to design it how it's usually done. So there's usually POP facials that line the walls to conceal this joining, this place. So that's what we're going to have to recreate now. So to do that, there are two ways. You can either use wall. You can either use wall 2, which is this, and you go to complex profile, then you go to custom, then you will see this. You can either use crown or any of this or this to create what you want. But I think in the next video I'm going to show you how to use wall to create your concrete facial or your facials. But for now, we'll use the one that you were taught in the previous video. If you are not aware of how to do it, please refer to our previous videos, because we showed it in depth there in our previous video. I think that is the same roofing video we taught before. So we'll go to objects, That is if you want to do it through objects. Then from objects, we go to moldings. Okay, so building structures, yes. Moldings. Yes, this is its moldings. So from there we select what we want. So we'll be using this for now. So we can set it, but I think we're going to use it as default for now. So let's just use this particular one because this is the one that is common. We can go to molding settings and adjust the dimension if we want, but we'll not be doing that for now because this is just introductory class. So with that selected, we are going to draw our we're going to start placing the moldings. So what we do is we'll click and there the moldings are placed. Take note, this is the front of the molding while this is the back. We are going to be placing the back along the walls. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll place the back along the walls, then we extend. So we extend to this point. Yeah, and then we remember to drag is Control D. Now to drag and duplicate is Control D. Then Control again. Let me explain. If I press Control D and I click on this and I press Control again, you see a plus will appear under the mouse. That means this is now a duplicate. So that's what we're going to use to drag and duplicate. Now we're going to have to rotate this so it can line up with here. Now to rotate, we use Control E. So we'll press Control E. It will now bring out this first point. This is for you to pick a reference point. So we can pick the middle and extend because it's horizontal. So we pick the middle and then we extend it in the horizontal plane. Then we click again and now we can rotate it. It's important you pick a good reference point because if you pick a wrong reference point, it may not rotate how you like. Now with this, we can now place this here and extend this further to this point and extend this to this point. We'll extend this to this point. And now we're going to have to cut this as 45. If not, it's going to be jarring when they join. So for it to cut at 45, you click on this second purple point here. You click on it and then you can now adjust it to 45. This is to enable you connect it easily. So this is what we're going to do. So 45. And then we're going to duplicate again. Remember, Control D, you drag, then you press Control again. Duplicate. Then we are going to rotate this again. Remember, Control E, pick a point, pick the line. I picked the wrong line. That means this thing is not going to be straight again. This is the mistake if you pick a wrong line. If I were to pick this as my reference point, you see it rotates about this axis, meaning that it will be hard to get it straight. Meaning that when I have it straight here, it won't be straight. You understand? When I have it straight here, it won't be straight. Because that's the axis I picked. So it's good you pick the correct axis. So it will be straight when you rotate it. So we're going to drag it to this point. And we're going to adjust here to 45 degrees too. See, it has joined perfectly and neatly. That's the beauty of 45 degrees. So we are going to join here. We're going to reduce here too to this point. Then we're going to extend here by 45 degrees. So that this one can join perfectly. So we are going to be using mostly duplicates now to create the interior. But don't be worried, you can see that we didn't set height for this. We're going to do this after. I prefer doing it after because it's easier. But we'll preview what we are doing later. So we can duplicate this and rotate it. So I'll be doing it fast now because I believe I have shown you the basics. So I'll be fast now so we can do this faster. Now, just before you guys get confused, just know I'm using the same tool. I'm using the same Control D to drag and then Control again to duplicate while dragging. I'm using the same tools, so I'm not using any other different tool. I'm using Control D to drag and then duplicate while I drag. Then I'm also using Control E when I want to rotate, because that's how to rotate in a keycard. If you're still having confusions on the shortcuts, please refer to our previous videos. That's a wonderful video. It has all the shortcuts in ArchiCAD that you ever need. So feel free to go and watch that video and practice the shortcuts as you go on. Perfect. Sorry, I just like my things being perfect. Some people say I'm a perfectionist, but I see it as just being normal. I like my joinings being very perfect. Let's open the door. This will. I like my joinings being perfect. Sorry, I'm wasting your time. So we are going to move on so we can be fast. Remember, 45 degrees for easy joining. Select. In a situation like this, where you can no longer select due to an object in the way, like what's happening to me now, either you zoom in and then you wait until it turns good so it says objects, you see, or you just simply hide the object that's in front. So in ArchiCAD, things are in layers. So assuming I don't want the roof to show again, I'm going to disable the roof layer, which is here. You see what you see this place in layers, click on it, and then you go to where you have roof. When you go there, this is it. You're going to hide the layer. So that what I will do is it will now hide the roof layer, so it can no longer be seen. But for now, we're not going to do that. For now, we're not going to work on that. We're just going to work on the video. We're just going to work on the project like this. It's in front. The layers will be in another video. I'm trying to see how I can make it as easy to understand as possible. So now we see we have the same. So instead of me rotating this and wasting time, we are going to learn how to use mirror. In ArchiCAD, there's a feature called mirror, and there's a shortcut for it. This shortcut is Control M. I'll show you how it works. So you see this. You see this one here. this roof is, I will have to hide, I will have to disable the roof. Okay, as you can see, the roof is in our way and it's stopping us from clicking on what we want. Which is this. Okay, see, it's in our way. So in order to do this, we're going to have to hide the roof layer. So as you can see, this is the roof layer. I'm going to have to hide it. So to hide it, we're going to click on Ctrl L. That's to bring out the layer, the dialog box for layers. I'm going to go to roof. This is roof. We're going to close the eye. Click OK. See, the roof is gone. The roof is not deleted, but the roof has been hidden. So when we want it, we can go and enable it back. So this will allow us to walk freely without the roof in our way. The same can be done to doors, windows. If you're trying to work on a project and you notice that the doors you placed are in your way, instead of outright deleting the doors, you can just hide the layer in which the door is in, and that will get rid of it. And so I was trying to show you how to use mirror. Now that the roof is in a hidden layer, we can now show you. So first of all, we duplicate, then we press Ctrl M. Then we see that's been duplicated. It is far faster than rotating. It has been inversed. It is far faster than rotating. So we are going to do this, and we are going to use this now to place here. We are going to know how we are going to use this, and we are going to carefully place it here and set this to 45. Set this to 45. Set this right to the normal point, which is here. Set this to 45. Then we're going to extend this further to this point, so it has a clean join. And then we're going to mirror this. We're going to mirror this. Ctrl M, like I said before. Then you just rotate and it's okay. Sorry. Ctrl M. Why just going to use rotate since it's refusing to, since it doesn't want to mirror. I don't know what is wrong with it. So we'll just use M for that instance. We're just going to use rotate for that instance. So we are going to be working fast so I can show you guys where I can move on to the next stage. And I know you guys may be wondering, why is it taking time? Well, that is the joy of carding, as we say here. It is the time you spend, it's a process, and I enjoy the process. We did not duplicate, if you noticed. We did not duplicate, so we just drag this, which is a mistake I used to make most of the time. Show you that even that you guys may be seen as almighty, still makes mistake. Everybody makes mistake. It's a process. I like this, I'm still learning. There are a lot of things I still don't know. I still watch channels. I still practice in my free time. So practice is what makes perfect, they say. In your free time, always practice. So it's remaining one more. So we're going to add this final one. I'm going to add this final one. Right, so now let's see what we've done. This is what we've done. You're going to notice something. The moldings are going to be on the floor because we didn't set the height. As you can see, they're on the ground. We didn't set the height. Now we're going to have to drag these moldings up to where it's supposed to be. So for that to happen, we are going to have to group all of them. Now for you to group, it's the same shortcut using grouping like that using grouping in CorelDRAW. So you first select all of them. You select this one. You hold shift, Then you can now select multiple objects while holding shift. We're going to select all of them. Now, once we do all of them, once we select all of them, we're going to press Ctrl G. Ctrl G to group all of them. Now, that means whatever they have all been grouped, that means whatever I do to one affects the other one. You see, if I click on this one, if I click on this, it automatically highlights all of them. So now we go to section, we will see it on the ground. You see, now I click on it. Don't forget, and if I click on one, I click on all of them. Now we drag it, Ctrl D, like I told you before. Drag it in a straight line. If you want to drag it along the y-axis, you're going to, which is this, the vertical axis, we're going to hold shift. It stops you from swerving around. You can either take it up or down. You can't take it side by side. So shift, it will help you. Then you take it here like this. Then voila, we've placed it. Now let me show you what we've done. As you can see, the ceiling is beginning to take shape. You can see the white rough I used. You can see it's giving it this ceiling texture. You can see it's giving it this wonderful ceiling texture. You can see that the interior is beginning to take shape. It's beginning to take shape. It's beginning to look nice. See that? Now we are going to move into adding hidden POP lights. That's what is trending now, hidden POP lights. So for that, we are going to find the middle of this building. To do that, you just need to hover your mouse to the wall, and this will come out. Then we hover our mouse here, and this will come out too. So this is let's say our middle roughly. It's not the exact middle, but it's just to illustrate the point. Then we use slab again. So we're just going to draw a suspending ceiling like this. Now you all know the drill. Setting. The thickness, it should not be too thick, so 25, or you can use, some people use 50. It just depends on your preference. Glossy white, we're going to use white rough, but I feel I want to use a different shade of white, so it will stand out from the ceiling. Well, let's just use white rough. Then okay, now we go back to our section. You'll see it on the ground. So now with the section allows us to easily manipulate it the way we want. So I can now carry it straight to the height I want it to be. So remember, it's suspended, so not too close to the ceiling, but not joint there. Then we have our suspended ceiling. You can see it here. Though it's hiding, it's there. Normally we're supposed to have this facial round it, this molding round the suspended ceiling, but because of time, I'm going to just move on to the next stage like that. When we are doing ceiling in depth, because we're going to have a second class on this ceiling, I'm going to put the moldings round the suspended ceiling, and we're going to go on with it in depth. So we're going to add lights to this. I know you guys are wondering, wow, lights, how are we going to do that? Well, you're going to go to more, which is this tab over here, lamp. You double click on it, or you press Ctrl T, or you press here, it's all the same. You're going to go to aerial lights. Then you're going to go to light settings. Okay, light parameters, area shape. Remember, area light settings, basic light parameters, area shape. I want to click on linear light. It's very important. Linear light, which is line. You can click on rectangle, but I prefer using line because it's easier for you to manipulate and place what you want. But you can use right angle to give you the same effect. It should just give you, what this means is that the area, you can see it here. So if you put right angle, you can put suspended rectangle above the suspended ceiling. That means rectangle is going to show rectangular lights right the where the aliens where the suspended ceiling is. But I like using light because I can place it where I want. But maybe we can use the two to illustrate the point. So let us just use line for now. Maybe if we have time, I'll use rectangle to show you this difference. Now we've selected lights, but we didn't set some things. Let us increase the intensity a bit. Let us just make the length, let's say 1 2. And the intensity, we have to increase the intensity. Lights. Okay, amount of reduction ends 3000. No, but remember, this setting is just experimental. As you start Snarky card, you experiment, you get what you want. You experiment, you get what you want. You get that fine sweet spot. Not everybody does or sets their lights the same way. So this is just the way I usually do mine. But it depends on what I want. But right now, we're not doing anything serious, so I'm just moving around the settings. So now we place the lights. So we place here. Now we're going to drag this light, or we can just replace here. Or we would have dragged it, but there was no need. We are still in light 2. Place here, we place here, we place here, place here, place here, place here. Now this is what you're going to see. Remember, the lights are not even hidden in the POP, they are under the POP. And we're going to have to drag it to the suspended ceiling, suspended POP. So we're going to group all of them so that we don't have to drag them one by one. We don't have to group all of them, all the light points. That's all been grouped. They have all been grouped. Now we go to section. Now you see, we're going to drag it. We're going to drag it and place it here. Place it before the ceiling. Yeah. So we've placed it, and voila, we've added a suspended ceiling with the light underneath it or behind it. That is the style that is trending now. Now you're wondering, how are we going to see it? How are we going to appreciate what has been done? Well, the only way we can appreciate it is by rendering. So I'm going to show you how to render. You see those buildings they post on architecture forums and Facebook and the rest, and companies post, and you're like, wow, how do they do this? Those are called renders. Now in Archicad, to render, you go to window, you go to platelets, then you see what we call photo rendering settings. Click on it. Then when you click on it, it's going to bring up the dialog box. You're going to have to set. So for now, we're not going to set anything because it's going to waste time. Normally I take this to high, then I set it at final details, depends on what I want. Then I set the resolution, and I set light settings and other things. But for now, I'm just going to do a simple rendering so that it will not waste our time. Also, we're going to do the lights to be in the middle because it's the light you want to see. Because it's the light that will give this place beauty. So we sun a little. We don't want the sunlight to overpower anything that we are doing here. So then we are going to start rendering. Remember, I'm going to have to skip the rendering process because it takes time, but I may have to skip it. What you can see is beginning to take shape. The suspended is beginning to take shape. You can see it's beginning to look wonderful. This is the joy of garden, seeing what you're doing in real time. Depending on how fast this renders, I may allow it to go through all at once, or I may leave it, or I may skip it, like do a jump cut to reduce length of the video. But let's see how fast it renders. So as you can see, the rendering has progressed to a reasonable level. You can see the ceiling, you can see the suspended ceiling, and you can see the light shining from underneath it. It's just that we didn't set some light parameters. That is why you can see some light is bleeding through the surface. But that is why it may. You can see the interior ceiling looks realistic. Looks like a normal POP. That's what you get from this channel. We teach you skills and tools that you can use to work in the real world.
Like to.
So you can see the rendering has completed, and this is what we have. You can see that this is a far cry from this. Wait, let it load. So that this is a far cry from this. You can see the importance of rendering. This doesn't look like this at all. So we've rendered it, and this is what we have. This is beautiful. You can see this is gorgeous. But this is not, well, I say, A-level class. I just want to say it. This is not A-level. This is not first class level rendering. This is just beginner level rendering. I will show you how to render first class level rendering. Not really first class, but at least an acceptable level of rendering. But if you want to render excellently well, you're going to have to use third-party softwares like Lumion, Atlantis, and the likes, 3D Max. But for now, I'll show you how to render very well with ArchiCAD. That will be the next video. So make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned so you're notified of when the video has been uploaded. Thank you.